it was so amazing. The stories, the emotions, everything. I was like, wow, wow, wow. This, I could write a book from this, you know. Hello. Today is day 46. Day 46. We're almost halfway. Like, almost halfway, but we still have a long way to go. But let's celebrate our wins, right? This is how far I've gone now. About 16 minutes in. So today we are going to talk about the power of writing. Yes, the power of writing. And when we talk about writing, writing is so powerful, writing is so important, because at least if we look at the whole wisdom that we have in this world, the whole knowledge and understanding and know-how that we have, they've been passed down through generations through writing. And yes, sometimes through verbal teachings and storytelling and all those stuff, but majority through people that have documented things, that have written things down. And also, even as we are learning into this world, most of our learning is being, channeled through writing. So either like actual putting pen to paper, or electronic writing, which is more common these days. It's still all in the realm of writing. So writing is so powerful to pass knowledge across, to learn and everything. And books and books and books and books and documents upon documents, and so many things have been written. Even the word of God is written down, So writing is so powerful. And many of us might feel that we are not writers, or we can never be authors, and maybe not, maybe, I don't know. Have you ever tried writing? You might be an author and you don't know, but many of us may feel that we can never be writers, or we can never be authors, but we can all benefit from the power of writing. Even if we are not authors, even if we don't publish books, we can all benefit from that act of writing. And that's just what I want us to discuss today. Writing is just simply putting pen to paper, or typing to computer, or how would you call it, and putting stuff down, and putting your words, your thoughts down. And it's so powerful, because when you put the thoughts down, when you that's just that act of bringing that things or thoughts from your head and putting it down in black and white, it makes a lot of difference. It can help with more clarity, because when you write down, it helps you to actually see the things as it is. It kind of unravels all the mumbo jumbo that is going on in your head. It brings clarity. You're able to put the things in perspective. You're able to break down maybe complicated things and put them in simpler way, and it really helps. Writing is powerful because it helps us to focus on things. Sometimes when you don't even understand what you are thinking, and when you put them down, you yourself that is writing down, you're able to kind of understand it better. You're able to articulate, that thing that you are writing. Oh my God, see a deer. A deer is crossing the road. Wow. I'm just going to walk slowly. Another deer is crossing the road. There are two. Okay, just pass, guy. I know these deers, they don't hurt, right? They are not dangerous. It's just that your girl is still scared. I'm going to just pass gently. I'm passing. Bye, dear. So as I was talking, as I was saying, so writing helps us in that way. It helps things to be more clear. It helps us to be more focused. And another thing that writing helps us to do that makes it so powerful is that it helps us with memory. And I really discovered the power of writing in terms of helping us to remember things when I was in medical school. And I had loads and loads and loads, you cannot imagine it, of work, of texts to read, volumes. It was tough, guys. Like, I mean, it wasn't like the subject matter was really difficult, but the fact that there were volumes and volumes and volumes. And prior to that time, before entering medical school, I was kind of a person that was just a breeze for me to just do things academically and excel, and I wasn't really paying much attention. But when I got to medical school, I'm like, wow, this thing is not easy. And I wasn't doing well at first because I will try to remember all the information. But one day I discovered, it wasn't one day, but at a point, I discovered the power of jotting. And wow, was I liberated. I discovered the power of jotting, and I found out that when I jot things down, when I write things down, even if it's things that I kind of already know, I remember, but that's a process of just writing it down. It really helped me to remember the things, to understand the things better, to articulate the things. And that's, as far back as then, really showed me the power of writing down. So writing helps us with memory. You find out that when you write something down, you tend to remember it better than if you did not write it down. So it just makes a lot of difference. So another way in which writing is so powerful is that it helps us to, when these things are written down, it kind of helps us to want to do it. Like maybe in terms of goals, and writing down our goals, writing down our plans, writing down our desires. The fact that you put it down in writing, in black and white, it kind of, to me, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? When you write something down, it's like, it brings some kind of permanence to it, and it makes it more achievable. It makes you see it, and it makes you see that this thing can be done. I remember, like, when Pastor Greg Erabo, I talk about him a lot on this channel, because he taught me a lot when I was growing up in his church. And he used to talk about writing our goals, and when we are doing goal setting beginning of the year, and I'm like, which one is writing? I know the goal in my mind already. I mean, why should I write it? Now, my husband was always reinforcing these things. And when we would do our maybe yearly, beginning of the year, New Year resolution and all those good stuff, when we would write it, my husband would write down. And we say, he will ask me, have you written yours? You write your goals. I'm like, I know the goals in my mind. I know it. Why should I write it down? But he would say, write it down. It took me years and years before I could get that concept that when you write the goals and plans down, it kind of brings it to life, and it helps you in the achievement of that goal. I've still not learned it completely, but I'm getting to learn that it's better to write these things down. And my husband is very good at that writing. He has loads and loads of things that he would write. And maybe years on, he will come and show me some things he wrote like years before and say, see this one has come to pass, see this one has come to pass. And I'm like, oh, good for you. So yeah, that's another way in which writing is so powerful. And there are so many ways in which we can channel this power of writing, in our daily lives. Like in our to-do lists, for example. I've talked about to-do list. If you've not watched that video where I talked about to-do list, I'm going to link it. Or I have already linked it in the description box. So you can go. I can't remember which particular day, but yeah, we talked about to-do list, and that involves writing. So when you write your to-do list, it helps you to achieve the things that you want to, achieve in the day. That's one way in which we can apply, this power of writing. Another way we can apply the power of writing is the one I've talked about, writing our goals, our plans, our ideas, writing it down. It helps a lot in the achievement of those goals and those plans. Another way which we can apply this power of writing is through journaling. And this one, I know that many people don't do it, but it's so powerful. And I am trying to journal again. I used to journal when I was young. My journal was in form of diary, keeping a diary. When I was a teenager, I kept a diary, and there was one day I actually happened upon that diary, and I was reading it, and I was so inspired. I was like, so this is who I was then. I was able to see so many of my thoughts, so many of my aspirations, so many of my desires, my ups and downs, my challenges. I wrote down everything. I like looking at that journal that time. I'm almost feeling like I could be a writer, because it was so amazing. The stories, the emotions, everything. I was like, wow. I could write a book from this. It was beautiful, really, and that really showed me the power of journaling. And that journal, I don't even know where it is again now, because we've moved so many times, and I don't know the particular box it's in. But maybe one day when I see that journal again, maybe I'll just turn it into a book. Now that I'm much more wiser, I'll turn it into a book. It was so beautiful, the raw emotion, I was able to understand a lot of things. So this is what I was going through then, and a lot of things that I wrote then are things that shaped me, my experiences and everything. So it's good to journal, apart from the fact that it helps you to reminisce on the past. When you get to the future, it also helps to relieve stress. Journaling is a whole thing on its own, and maybe one day we'll talk about the power of journaling. But journaling is one way in which we can channel the power of writing. And the final way I want to talk about is actually writing a book, which is the one that everybody knows. Writing a book. And that too is very powerful, obviously, for obvious reasons. And yeah, I just want to encourage you. You might have a writer in you. Channel the writing power. Bring out the writer that is dormant inside of you. That is also some people that are writing, like they will say when we were young, they will say the people that are doing something, or maybe people that are coming first in class or that were excelling. My parents, but all parents used to say when we were growing up, they would say, oh, they don't have two heads. So yeah, people that are writing don't have two heads. You can write as well. You can be a writer. You never know. Try your hands on it. You might just be a great author. So writing is something that also can be very fulfilling. Apart from the fact that we can be able to transfer our thoughts, our ideas, and our emotions and our knowledge to other people, it also benefits the writer. So both the writer and the reader are benefited. So I just want to encourage us that let's channel the power of writing in all these areas I've talked about. Let's channel the power of writing into our lives and reap the benefits of it. And who knows, I might be reading your book next. Your book might be the next big thing. This might be a voice of someone encouraging you. Maybe you've been dabbling into writing and you're like, take this as a word. The word that's encouraging you to go on. Yeah, so with that being said, I'm just going to continue on my walk, and I'll see you when I'm done. I'm back. Three minutes in. So today's one is done. So that how we did day 46. So today we talked about the power of writing, and I've said a lot of things. So just let me know your comments, your thoughts about everything that we've talked about today. Let me know. Just express yourself. Whatever you want to add. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, whatever. Let me know in the comment section. And yeah, I'm going to see you tomorrow.